do not read your slide. There are 1,000 different ways online that teach you how to create the perfect pitch deck. However, what I'm going to be teaching you is how to deliver the great pitch. How do I know? Wepa! My name is Evaguel Rhysing. I am an entrepreneur, #girlboss. And I have done over 100 pitches and won multiple competitions for pitching my business. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Tip number 1, create a story through your pitch. We've all sat on presentations from professors or classes or anywhere else we watch a presentation and it's just straight up facts, graphs, a bunch of text on the slide, and we are bored out of our minds. We don't even retain most of the information. However, very good presentations tell a story. It's important to tell a story because humans are capable and have more ability of absorbing information if you tell it through a story. We have all been conditioned since little by telling us all these stories and reading books. And second, they will engage with what you're telling them far much more easier because there's been a human-to-human connection. Do you have a good story to tell with your pitch? That's one of the best things and one of the first things you could do for your business. Do you know that humans can only process around 150 words per minute? That's why you make purposeful pauses and help them absorb that information. Did you see what I just did there? Oh, I'm hilarious, I know. But it's important for you to make those pauses because you have important information you want them to remember. And by making sure you make that pause, it's kind of like creating that artificial echo that lets them really process that information and internalize it. And most of the time, the places you made that purposeful pause are the key things they remember. And also, make sure that you don't pause for longer than 2 seconds, because that just turns into awkward silence. Tip number 3, use as little text as possible on your presentation deck. It's so important for you to do that because the person delivering the message should be you, not the deck. Otherwise, when you're talking, what the people will be doing is reading what's in the presentation slide. So why are you there? They can just read it and they don't need you. That's why it's very important that you use that PowerPoint presentation or whatever you use as a support tool to make sure that your message is delivered as clearly and as concisely as possible. So make sure to be very strategic on the information you put on each slide and make sure that whatever you're saying is supporting what that slide has. Tip number 4, 4. So it's very important for you to understand your audience because you're not just going to create one pitch and repeat it to every person you meet. Because each person that you're going to talk to has their own experiences and background that is going to affect how they interpret your message. So for the love of God, please do your research on who you're talking to make sure that your pitch is catered to what they really care about. Whether it is to an investor, whether it is to a client, or it is to a potential partner, you have to create a different versions of your pitch to make sure you address their needs because they're talking to you, because they have needs they may be able to meet by talking to you. So it's very important for you to understand what their needs are, what drives them, and what's important to them so you can make sure you can cater to that when you go and talk to them. Tip number 5, make your presentation uniquely yours. Because like I said, online you have, you need your cover slide, you need your problem statement, you need your solution, your competition slide, all of that. Okay, we all know that. But if every person created the same deck, doing the same thing, it gets very boring. It's not memorable. Your goal is to be uniquely you and be memorable. So that's why it is important that when you create your deck, not only did you have a story like I mentioned previously, but you and your team shine through that presentation. It is very important for you to do so because most investors, and not only investors, potential clients, make decisions based on team and the team's capability to perform. There is a saying out there in the entrepreneurial world: you can take a B product in a Class A team and make a company successful, but sometimes it's very difficult to take a Class A product but a Class C team and make a company successful. Bonus round. Do not read your slide. So if you're reading off your slide, the people watching are reading off the slide with you. So again, why are you there? If you're gonna read the slide, they can read it themselves. And that way you avoid the whole distraction. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's a pet peeve of mine. Do not read out of your slide. Thanks. Another one. We all remember that sometimes we're sitting and sometimes people watching, or our eyes are wandering across the room, and we just happen to catch another pair of eyes and we kind of lock eyes. Don't you immediately kind of jolt and kind of straighten up and come back to real world? The same thing can happen during presentations. So a good tip is to make eye contact with your audience. Not only do you maintain that engagement and that passion, that storytelling, but also it's a good way for you to maybe catch somebody off guard, or maybe do that connection with them by making eye contact and kind of wake them up a little bit so they keep engaged. And it's no fault of their own. Most places they've seen 3 or 4 pitches and it takes a long time. After a while, you're kind of drawn out, you're zoned out. So your job is to be memorable and to make sure that they can engage with what they're saying. The other tip I have for you is body language. Body language, believe it or not, is very important because it helps provide additional input or interpretation about how you feel yourself. If you're all closed off and down, you're trying to say that you're confident, you're passionate, the two are kind of conflicting. But if you're straighten up and you open up and you talk with your hands, well, not too much. I mean, we're not doing the Macarena here, but you talk with your hands and you're expressive and you're open, that confidence that you're trying to portray will come through and will be interpreted by the others watching you. So it's very important to, as cliche as it sounds, to stand in front of a mirror, practice your pitch, and watch your body language. Because not only are they going to pay attention to what you're saying and what's behind you, but also how you are engaging with them. Even if your body does not feel very confident, make sure you try to portray with your body that you are confident. Because eventually, the more you do this, the more you keep trying, and the more you keep learning, you will be at some point. Trust me, it will happen. It happens. So this is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and what it takes to pitch, to create a business plan and all of that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and follow us on our journey. And also, if you have any ideas on how to make your pitch better, or if you would like for me to kind of review your pitch and see how you did, make sure you share with me down below. Trust me, I am nice. No, I not really am. But anyways, in the meantime, keep going out there, keep hustling, and above all, for the love of God, do not read off your slide. Otherwise, chancletas. Until next time, take care.